Good morning, YouTube.com. For those of you who do not know me, I am known as Tricrux, and this is my presentation of the Do You Know a Yu-Gi-Oh fan meme. I found it floating around in one of my friends' YouTube accounts and decided, hey, why not give this a shot? Rather than bumbling around with nonsense like introductions, I'm gonna get immediately to the questions. First question is, how long have you been a Yu-Gi-Oh fan? I became a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! Back in 2001, when it first aired in the United States. This was the time when I could not fund my love of anime, and everything that premiered on television was incredibly valuable. After watching the show, I eventually got into the card game itself, and my love for the series has been ballooning ever since. The second question is, what is your earliest Yu-Gi-Oh! Memory? My earliest memory would be my watching of the first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters as it aired on WB. I don't remember the commercials at all, so the first episode is really the first for me. Since it's a little relevant, I did not know that there was an original series of Yu-Gi-Oh! Until later, when I had internet access and got a chance to look at it. Alright, third question. Who is your favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Character? Dark Magician Girl. I'm just screwing with you, it's Yusei Fudo. Although, oddly enough, I do like Nosaka Miho, even if she only gets one real appearance in the manga. Question 4. What is your most prized Yu-Gi-Oh! Possession? My friends probably saw this coming, but it would be my Ghost Rare Black Rose Dragon, which I have named Momoko. I have a few more Black Rose Dragons that I really love just as much, but that Ghost Rare is the most valuable to me. This is not really a Yu-Gi-Oh! Question, but question 5. Where are you from? Let's get this out of the way quick. I am a Louisiana boy. Shout out to all my peeps on the south side. Well, won't you look at that? Halfway down. Anyway, next question. Outside of Yu-Gi-Oh!, what do you do with your life? Let's see. I watch anime. I mostly write stories. And generally anything that catches my fancy. Although lately I have been hunting for jobs a lot, and it's not exactly the most fun thing. So I'm just focusing on writing stories mostly. Anyone who's met me before generally knows my routine. Write, anime. Although I really need to start watching anime more. Question 7. What is the origin of your YouTube name? Tricrux is the name of a short story I wrote back in the 6th grade. I also used it as the name of a very adorable character from VXV. Question 8. Whose videos do you watch? I like how this became a YouTube questionnaire instead of a Yu-Gi-Oh! Questionnaire, but I digress. The answer is anyone who can catch my attention. Not very hard. The 9th question is, what is your favorite saga? If by saga you mean series overall, I am gonna go with 5Ds. The other series were nice. GX was slow at first, but picked up pace pretty quickly. But 5Ds had a hint of incredible danger for the characters from the very beginning. No looming threats that gradually built up. It's much like the first series, albeit the motorcycles kinda caught my attention. If the question was referring more to each individual season within the series, I would have to say that the U-Bell arc from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX is my favorite. I did like the final part of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, and I love 5Ds most as a whole, but the U-Bell arc is gonna be with me because it was mind-numbingly depressing, and for someone like me, that is, oddly enough, a good thing. Mind-numbingly depressing for a Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, of course. Not to confuse anyone. Question number 10. if you could be any Yu-Gi-Oh character, who would it be? This is a very hard question. I could go with Jack Atlas, or any of the multitude of rich characters for practical reasons, of course. But oddly enough, I'd rather steer away from the hero characters. To make a quick decision, I'm on Garam from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Yes, he's a secondary antagonist, but I still like the guy. And now for the bonus question. Which do you prefer? Japanese or English voices and music? For voices, I'm going with the Japanese version because of a much better script and a greater diversity in the cast. While the English version, I can forgive the lack of diversity, but the horrible alterations to the script I find unforgivable at some times. Even emotional points become laughable, and serious situations become incredibly strange. Music is going to find me a little more lenient. While yes, I prefer the Japanese version's incredible soundtrack throughout all three series, love that J-Rock, the English version did have some pretty impressive tracks. The first series was lacking in very decent music, but GX and 5Ds more than got past my stamp of approval. And that wraps up the last question. Thank you all for watching. And while I'm not really going to tag anyone, I don't really play those sorts of little internet games, I'm going to make a recommendation to Forbidden Jackal and Melancholy Phantom to try this out. I'd like to hear your answers. Thank you and good night.